What's up guys, Rui here and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be taking a deeper dive and look at the Suicoke Kisee-V, which is probably one of my more favorite purchases in recent times. As usual, I will try my best to cover everything there is to know regarding these sandals. Let's first go through a little history regarding the brand because I think they are a very unique company with a pretty interesting brand progression. Suicoke was first founded in Tokyo in 2006 and there really isn't any meaning behind the brand name, as it's just basically a creation of words. Something that I find pretty cool regarding this brand is how they actually kept the brand identity to be pretty anonymous and shrouded in mystery. The reason behind this is because they wanted the target audience to kind of focus more on the product rather than the designers or the founders. This is to encourage your customers to kind of have their own personal take on how they want to style these sandals. Unlike many brands out there whereby they actually stick or evolve from what they've been doing from the beginning, Suicoke is a rather unique company because they actually started off by making hand-painted Russian Matryoshka dolls and other homeware appliances such as lamps. It wasn't only until a year later whereby they diversified into the footwear market, and it took them around 7 years later to actually be on the radar for people living outside of Japan with the release of their Spring-Summer 2014 collection, with the release of the Deepa, Sasho, and Chin sandals. Since then, the brand has collaborated with countless other brands such as Babe, Palm Angels, Mastermind, A Cold Wall, Moncler, and the list goes on. One pretty notable collaboration that I think is pretty cool is the one with Maharishi, whereby they released two brand new silhouette sandals that has a split tabby toe, and also it included kind of like a thick neoprene sock along with it to kind of give it a more sneaker look. Now let's take a closer look at the Kisee-V that I picked up, which is probably one of their most popular sandal models that they do produce today. Overall, I feel like all of Suicoke sandal models have this very utilitarian and Japanese look and feel, especially when we're looking at this pair. It has this very beefy and durable look, which I think fits perfectly well with more technical and functional fits. Therefore, in my opinion, if you are that fan of that super cyber ninja Naruto look, this fits in well perfectly. I picked this up from HBX when they were having the annual sales period, and this pair retails at $165 US, but I managed to get it for 30% less at that time. However, I still feel that it is slightly on the higher side because considering for the price that you are paying, you are able to get yourself a pretty decent pair of runners. So whether this pair is worth it or not really highly depends on you. How much would you actually utilize it? As for me, I am really happy that I actually did pick it up because I've been having so much fun pairing it up with different outfits, especially with kind of the climate and conditions of the country that I do live in, whereby it's basically summer all year round. This actually makes it a pretty worthwhile purchase for me. The colorway that I picked up is the all black, which I think looks the best. It's simple, clean, and has this very stealthy look towards it. Best part of it is that it actually fits almost everything in my wardrobe. Now there are a ton of other different colorways to choose from if you want something a little bit more out there. Although sandals can get pretty plain and simple most times because they're just basically strips of material running across your feet, the Kisee-V took it up a notch by having different types of materials combined together to kind of add a more visual depth, which creates a pretty cool, unique look. Construction wise, they're absolutely beautifully made with almost near perfect stitching all around without any loose threads to be found, and also with very symmetrical stitching patterns. Therefore, this doesn't feel like it's going to be falling apart anytime soon. Taking a look at the upper section of these sandals, it does look like it has a lot going on, which does give out that more utilitarian look. However, I would say that it actually keeps up to the more traditional side of a sandal silhouette. It consists of 3 main segments that work together to help keep your feet secure to the sandals. Each segment is constructed with different parts that are linked together with these nylon velcro straps. All of them are adjustable to your liking, however I found that they fit pretty perfect straight out of the box. Therefore, the only strap that I do have to use is the one where your feet enters the sandals. There are some plastic connectors and tabs which gives the sandals a more technical aesthetic. The part that are attached by the velcro straps are all slightly padded, and also the material feels really soft and silky, which does makes it rather comfortable when putting them on. When it comes to branding, it is very subtle, with only the more obvious one being the white patch that is located around the ankle area. There's also a tiny Suicoke wording around the heel area, as well as all the plastic materials kind of has very small little brandings, which is basically unnoticeable on feet. One of the main reasons why I really did fall in love with this sandals is just how chunky the sole is, as it overall buffens the look and it doesn't make it look too flimsy. Now there are actually two versions of this model, Kisee-V, which is the one that I picked up, and the Kisee-V PO, which has a much taller and chunkier sole. It is almost considered to be a platform sandals, which actually I do prefer that model. However, it is significantly more expensive, which at that point of time I just wasn't, willing or ready to spend that much amount of money on a pair of sandals, which is why I just resorted for this instead. For the longest time, Suicoke has collaborated with Vibram to produce all their soles. Now Vibram is arguably one of the best and most famous sole making companies out there today, that was founded all the way back in 1937. The company does produce a couple of different types of sole that are intended for different usages and performances. The one found on this pair uses Vibram Moreflex, which is basically an EVA rubber sole that is more intended for lifestyle functions. Therefore, the three main aspects that it focuses on are being very lightweight, high shock absorbent, and being very comfortable. After owning it for a while now, it is pretty lightweight considering how chunky it is, and the impact does feel a little bit more or less whenever I'm walking around with it. However, something I'm not a huge fan of is just the embossed part of it. Because I have a pretty flat feet, therefore it doesn't make it all that comfortable to begin with. And if I do happen to find myself wearing this pair of sandals for a long period of time, at the end of the day, my feet definitely feels a little bit fatigued. That is why I do find myself to avoid wearing these if I do know that I'll be out most of the day on my feet, and instead just picking up a pair of sneakers. When it comes to styling the Kisee-Vs, there are two ways that I go about it. The first is to just rock it by itself. I really do like this look, especially for the hot summer times like right now when ventilation is key. It does give out a more casual look for me, and I do prefer to pair it up with more boxy pieces or even oversized fits. Work really well as it gives out that more relaxed and chill vibe. The second method, which I think is also the most popular way that most people tend to style sandals, including myself, is to pair them up with high socks. Just by pairing them up with socks completely changes the look, and the best part I think is that you can actually play around with the color of the socks to give your overall outfit a little more subtle splash of color if you like. Personally, for me, I'm a very monochromatic person when it comes to styling. Therefore, I would always find myself to going for the black socks. I just really like how it gives that very stealthy urban ninja vibe. However, I am still looking for, more color socks to be added into the rotation so that I can kind of add a little bit more color whenever I do style these sandals. If you did have any questions regarding the Suicoke Kisee-V, hopefully I did manage to answer them in today's video. But if you have any other questions regarding them, please feel free to ask down in the comment section below. I will definitely get back to you guys as soon as possible. How has everyone's summer been so far? Hope you guys are doing well and safe. Don't forget that the pandemic is still out there, and if you guys do have to go out, please make sure you guys do practice all the safety precautions that are given out by the state or government, so that you're not only protecting yourself but actually protecting the other people who might be potentially more vulnerable to it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy watching it, and if you're new to this channel or you just haven't been subscribed yet, it would really mean the world to me if you guys do so, because it does help the channel to grow a lot. Also, don't forget there will be an Aubrey Gear mod giveaway once this channel hits 8,000 subscribers. Till then guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.